You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today's Total Wellness Tuesday, I want to share with you my personal top 7 cancer-fighting foods for daily use. These are 7 hand-picked specific foods that out of, let's say, the top 50 there could be, these are the ones that I think are most worthwhile, and also I believe they're the easiest ones to implement into your own personal diet on a daily basis. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. So I don't want to just give you the information on the Cabral Concept. I want you to be able to implement each and every tip. That means by the end of this show, I want you to be able to take at least 1 or 2 of these foods and say, okay, I can easily add that to my daily nutritional plan by simply doing X, Y, or Z. And I'm going to give you all your different options. Because here's the thing. With cancer right now, this is not something that we can think about like, oh, well, that might not happen to me for 20, 30 years. So I have some time to think about it, or I have some time to wait. But that's not the case at all. So right now in my clinic, I get to see people in their 20s, 30s, 40s getting cancer, no longer in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s. We're talking like halfway before that, meaning like right now, the progression of cancer is moving from 1 out of 3 people. So right now, 1 out of 3 people in our lifetime, in the United States at least, will get cancer. 1 out of 3. And by the year 2030, 1 out of 2. That means literally you're walking down the street, every other person you see will get cancer. How disturbing is a statistic is that? And that literally is not made up by, a health practitioner or anyone like that. That's made up by specific bodies that don't actually benefit specifically from coming out with these statistics. Now, there are certain types of cancer-based treatments that we do know benefit from people getting cancer, no doubt about it. My job, though, is to say, how can we help you stay healthy so that you never have to worry about getting cancer or the $100,000+ treatment it's going to cost if you do get cancer? That's the other thing. Most people don't share with you that there are so many people out there just literally just trying to pay the bills when they do get cancer. Because chemotherapy, you're looking at $150,000, $100,000+ for that. That is not something that I ever want you to have to think about in your lifetime or for your children as well. So let's get right into it. One of the reasons why these foods work so well is because they're helping to remove toxins from the body on a daily basis. And you say, well, why would that help to prevent cancer? Well, the reason is many, if not most of the cancers today, which is why we didn't have the same level of cancer 100 years ago, is because we never had synthetic man-made toxins in the environment. They did not exist. They simply didn't exist a couple hundred years ago. We have now plastics and styrofoams and flame retardants. We have gaseous-based fumes that you can't even see. We have all the different things that go along with automobiles and all the exhaust and everything that comes out of that. We're breathing all of these things in. They're touching our skin. We're eating them. All the pesticides, the GMOs. We're being exposed to these things. And our body, genetically speaking, it can't adapt. It simply can't adapt in 100 years or 200 years. Our body that we were given does not have the genetic the know-how, the wherewithal to be able to process all of these things at a cellular level. So what we need to do is make sure we're putting as few of those things into our body. And of course, I'm going to get more into those on additional shows, what to stay away from. And at the same time, to make sure that all the cancer cells that are mutating in your body every single day are being killed by healthy immune cells. And that's why I do not love all of these diets right now that are trying to push you too far in one direction, meaning like no carbs or just super high protein or this or that. What we need to create is not following a plan that would work when you have cancer, is to follow a plan that's going to keep your body balanced in the first place. Meaning that if we can create equilibrium in the body, which is always what we should be opting for, is trying to create that balance in the body, our body will be so strong, our immune system will be so strong that it can fight off cancer cells whenever they start to come to fruition within the body. It just wipes it out. Our immune cells are strong enough to do that. We have natural killer cells that will do that within our own bodies. So now let's talk about how do we take that to the next level? Well, we can do that through natural whole foods. So the first one I like, because a lot of people do want recommendations, like, okay, what can I drink for a tea? Like, what can I buy? There's a lot of people, myself included, that you want to be able to go to a tea place, a coffee place, a cafe, and sit with friends and chat for a little while or have a meeting. And that's great. Like, that is a nice, like, that's a great part of being a human, is that social aspect. But you can't always be drinking coffee after coffee, because we know that that's not great for our adrenals and for our HPA axis, is to be pushing that type of adrenaline or cortisol. But what we can do, and especially for a lot of those people who do 2 coffees a day, maybe mid-afternoon, is switch that mid-afternoon cup to a cup of green tea. Try to go for organic green tea or matcha powder, which is great. And what happens is, inside of green tea, there's something called EGCG. It's a very powerful antioxidant. And you're going to hear me say this word over and over and over today. And that's something called polyphenol. So phenols, or polyphenols, which are inside of fruits and vegetables and herbs, are very powerful antioxidants that will literally grab onto a lot of these free radicals in the body that can create damage at the mitochondrial level for your energy, damage at the DNA level in terms of cancer. So when something goes wrong in replication, there can be a malignant cells that takes place, or there can be a proliferation of that cell over active cell growth. Well, powerful polyphenols, things in green tea, will help with that. Plus, green tea also contains quercetin. Quercetin is a powerhouse of an antioxidant. Yes, it works for things like allergies. You might have heard of it for that. But also, quercetin boosts glutathione. Not a lot of people know that. But glutathione is actually the main antioxidant in the liver that works with phase 2 detoxification. That also works with something called SOD. It looks at on your genetics. And that stands for superoxide dismutase. And what that does, it actually squelches free radicals as well. And it blocks cancer growth, so it stops cancer cells from growing, but also kills cancer cells at the same time. So again, my recommendation is, if you're a coffee drinker in the morning, maybe switch to green tea instead. Or if you're a mid-afternoon coffee person, absolutely switch to green tea, because it's not going to give you as much of that cortisol-based spike. It also contains something called L-theanine, which keeps you more calm and level at the same time. All right, let's move on to number 2. So number 2 is one of my favorites. I've been doing this now for probably about 10 years. Every single morning, I add 1 to 2 cups of berries to my smoothie. And lately I've gotten into adding some cranberries. I've gotten into adding some cherries, but always, every single day, I have a cup of wild blueberries. Every single day. Wild blueberries are predominantly just skin. They have a little bit of the fruit, the juice in the middle, but since they're so small, it's really that skin. And that's why blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries are my number 2. Yes, I'm going to cheat with a few of these and give you a couple extras, but add those mixed berries, the berries, every single morning. You can have them before. If you do an omelet in the morning or eggs or whatever it might be, fine. But have 1 cup of berries every single morning before your protein or mixed in with your smoothie. So what I do is I keep things simple. My life is busy. I've got a family. I've got a couple practices. I have an online practice. Very, very busy, right? I want my life to be simple. And I think you're probably just as busy as I am. So what I do is, of course, I have my greens, but I when I make my smoothie, I want to make it delicious too. So I add in a couple of the wild blueberries. Maybe I'll add in a half a teaspoon, or I should say tablespoon, of coconut oil, coconut cream, something like that. Make a really delicious smoothie. And if you haven't downloaded the smoothie recipe, just go to StephenCabral.com and just do /podcast and just scroll down the page, and you'll be able to see anywhere on the site is really sign up for the smoothies. And I'll try to maybe add up a link for my free smoothie recipe guide as well. But these raspberries and blackberries and blueberries also contain those same phenols, but they contain something called those anthocyanins. It gives them those bright, bold colors. And what that does, these very powerful antioxidants and bioflavonoids, also called bioflavonoids, they help prevent cancer in the first place. So they help prevent, especially like colon cancer. They kill cancer cells. And they do it very specifically, meaning like they selectively kill not the healthy cells, but the cancer cells through a process called apoptosis. and that means signaled cell death. And so literally we have mechanisms in our body, and this is how we kill cancer cells on a daily basis naturally so that cancer never comes about, is we have our own natural process called apoptosis. Berries help that signaling process along. So what I do is every morning add 1 cup to my smoothie. Most mornings I'm doing 2 cups of some type of berries. And then I add my greens in there. Again, you can go to the smoothie guide and get all that good stuff. All right, number 3, switching gears. This is something that you can add every evening to dinner. And what we're looking at now are specific, we'll call them spices, onions and garlic, right? So they're from the plant-based family, but they're a very specific family from the what's called the allicin. So it has this thing called, and part of the allium family, but this product called allicin. That's why you might actually see supplements called ALLICIN, or allicin. And what that is that's a specific part of the onions and garlic, which are amazing to detoxify the body. They're very high in sulfur. So again, they work on phase 2 detoxification, which most people are low on. And they're letting the liver filter the blood, cleanse the blood at a much higher level. But again, producing more glutathione. Glutathione being the antioxidant that squelches free radical damage, helps prevent cancer, helps kill cancer cells. So an easy thing to do is add a clove of garlic to whatever dish you're having at night. Same with onions. You could add a couple tablespoons of onions to any specific meal, having them however you would like. You can also do the dried version as well. The only people I don't recommend this far is just at the beginning of my Candida protocol for about the first 6 weeks or so, we're eliminating onions and garlic. And the reason is if you eat them in their whole form and not as the extract, they're a great prebiotic. Now, a great prebiotic will help feed healthy bacteria. But if you have bacterial overgrowth, it can actually feed that as well. So right now, and we just get tremendous benefit, we eliminate those just for the first 6 weeks, and then we add garlic back slowly. And then after that, we add onions back, because onions is a very, very powerful FODMAP food, and it is a powerful prebiotic. All right, so lemons are up next. Number 4 out of 7 is lemons. Why lemons? Well, here's why. Lemons have been known literally since the dawn of time in Egyptian medicine, in Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, in what else? Greek medicine. Everyone uses lemons for their natural enzymes that help to cleanse the blood, the stomach, the liver, the lungs. It purifies all of these organs in our digestive tract very, very simply. They're low in fructose. They're high in antioxidants. All we have to do is this: squeeze a half a lemon into like 6 ounces or so of water, maybe 8 ounces. You can do a whole lemon if you want. Every single morning in warm water. This is what I do every morning. Squeeze it right in there, and I drink it down. And that starts to purify my stomach, my intestines, my liver, and it helps to soften and emulsify all the bile. And then what that does is it just pushes things down the digestive tract. Really great for the intestines, really great for bowel movements, keeping your intestines very healthy. Because remember, 80% of your immune system lies in those intestines. Easy to do. Every single morning, I do that. All right, broccoli and cauliflower. Now, I used to hate, and yes, it's a strong word, but it's true. I never ate broccoli and cauliflower until I started studying nutrition in college. And then even though I didn't like them in college, I ate them. Now I actually like them. It's probably taken a decade or so to actually start to enjoy some of those. But broccoli and cauliflower, yes, I did lump them together. I consider them pretty much the same food. And the reason is they're both extremely high. Brussels sprouts are included as well, but we're just going broccoli and cauliflower for right now. They're like the flowering vegetable right there. Very high in sulforaphane. You've heard me talk about this one before. I find this nutrient so important that I've added it to my daily nutritional support shake powder. Literally, the science behind it in terms of helping kids with autism, and helping with Alzheimer's, dementia, with Parkinson's, with cancer, amazing. So we literally add, I believe it's 50 milligrams to all of each serving of our daily nutritional support shake. That important. Honestly, it's because right now this sulforaphane, it's a sulfur-based called isothiocyanate. I believe that's, don't quote me on that. I believe it's called isothiocyanate. Now these are powerful sulfur-based, antioxidant-based products. So they're actually amino acids that help to kill cancer cells. They're selective, which means they don't kill other cells in the body. That's very important when we're talking about natural whole foods. And they naturally detoxify the body. Again, giving the body a way to manufacture and produce its own natural glutathione, which is so hard to get in supplement form. Yes, you can take liposomal glutathione. Yes, you can do an IV with glutathione. But if you can get it from food, why not do that? That's what I highly recommend. So what I do every single day, every day I have at least 1 cup of broccoli or 1 cup of cauliflower. Easy for me to say. Sometimes both. I really do. And I usually get that at lunch. So maybe I'm at a salad bar, a Whole Foods, something like that. All I do is add 1 cup of broccoli. And then honestly, usually I'm adding in some more cauliflower. Cauliflower doesn't have a big taste to it. And of course, these are cooked, much easier to digest and break down when they're cooked. Okay, and I just eat the heads off them. I don't eat the actual stem, which is pretty hard to digest. All right, little tip there. 2 more to go. The next one is called mustard greens. Mustard greens, very few people have heard of these, but they do sell them at all sorts of whole food stores, meaning like Whole Foods, Sprouts, any really like natural grocer. Even your farmers markets will have these mustard greens. They're just a very dark leafy green. They're very high in vitamin A levels, B6, which is my favorite B vitamin, vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Great as a blood builder, great as an anticoagulant, great for antioxidants, really good for lowering LDL levels if you have high LDL cholesterol, and it inhibits tumor growths, cancerous growths. Powerful one. How can you eat it? All you do is chop it up and add it to another salad because they're very strong. They're bitter. You can add them to smoothies. It'll just add a little bitter taste to it, but you can add other things as well. But what I would do is simply cook them up, add them on the side, mix them in with some spinach if you want, or just add it to a salad, put some squeezed lemon, a little pinch of sea salt. Really delicious, easy way to do it. Okay, number 7 right now, at least in 2016 and 2017, it holds my personal favorite as the most powerful and my favorite herb out there right now. It's called oregano. Oregano can be used as an oil. It can be used whole, like as a natural herb itself, or it can be used as a dried spice. Now, I'm typically using it as an oil in terms of helping people get well, whether it's candida overgrowth, or they might have a cold or virus or sickness, or I'm using it in a dried capsule form as part of our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. Why? Oregano oil is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's antiviral. It's antibacterial. It's antifungal. It is one of the most powerful and most versatile, volatile oils out there, meaning like the oil inside of oregano will kill fungal overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth. It's an amazing product. And what it also does, so a lot of the women I work with estrogen dominance, whether they have PCOS, they have fibroids, they have all sorts of different estrogen dominant based issues, we're also using this to help push down the level of estrogen compounds in the body. And a lot of that is the byproducts of estrogen as well, the metabolites. So really, really helpful. And then also right now, the studies are being shown, studies are being looked into right today, like literally today, of oregano being used to block estrogen positive receptor sites. I mean, like how estrogen would bind to certain cancer cells for prostate, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and uterine cancer. Really powerful stuff right there, because what happens is they found that at least with, I should say, especially with ovarian, breast cancer, and prostate cancer, that high levels of estrogen exacerbate and potentiate those types of cancer specifically. So I like zinc to help with those things as well, but that's not an herb, but that's not a food, so we're not talking about that today. But oregano oil or oregano, even just the dried spice. So how would you use it? Because I said I would give you examples today. All you need to do is add 1 dried teaspoon of oregano to any one of your recipes at night. So if you cook a meat or something like that, you can add to that. A fish, if you're doing a vegan-based meal with like a chickpea dish, something like that, you can add oregano right to it and it tastes delicious. And it doesn't have to be the only herb, I should say. You can add any other herbs that you want, but oregano is one of the most powerful. So I'm going to be doing a part 2 to this in the future, which is going to give you another 7 cancer-fighting foods. But let's just review the list over the next 30 seconds on how to use it. So green tea. Every afternoon, if you need a little boost, you can add a little green tea. Now, what did I do? Remember, you can download my greens recipe guide completely free as well. Let me link those up. So literally just go to stephencabral.com/494. That's today's show. And I'm going to link up everything today for you, okay? So I'll link up green tea, the matcha powder, all that. So sometimes what I'll do, and a lot of my private clients love this, they'll have green tea powder. So it's called matcha powder. It's organic, or you can get it wild. And what you do is you just add a teaspoon of that, not even a teaspoon if you don't want, just a half a teaspoon. And you mix in the daily fruit and vegetable blend, which is the greens powder, and you just shake it up. And that's a pre-workout for a lot of people. And they can mix it to other things if they want as well. But that will give you a little energy boost as well. Or just have a green tea. mid-morning or mid-afternoon if you like. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Every morning I add 1 cup to my smoothie, and I recommend you do the same, frozen or fresh. And again, you could just eat them in the morning as well. That's fine. Onions and garlic. Just 1 clove or a tablespoon or so of onions or garlic with dinner at night. Lemons. All I do is cut up a half a lemon, sometimes a whole, and I just squeeze it into a glass of room temperature or warm water every single morning to just cleanse my body. Okay? You can brush your teeth after that if you're worried about the acid on the teeth. All right, number 5, broccoli and cauliflower. Every day I have 1 cup of either one of those, broccoli or cauliflower. And again, I said Brussels sprouts, you could do that as well. Very, very simple. I cook those. Actually, I don't cook them. My wife will make them for dinner at night, but a lot of times at lunch, I will have those. Now, mustard greens. Mustard greens are not easy to do, but easy to add at night. And that's because if you're cooking dinner, you can just cook up a cup for the whole family, and you don't have to eat the whole cup. You can just each have like half of that cup, mix it with other greens if you want, add a little squeeze of lemon on top, a little pinch of sea salt. That's delicious as well. A lot of people like to add a little apple cider vinegar too. Okay, and oregano, really simple. 1 dry teaspoon. You can do more, but start with a half to 1 dried teaspoon mixed in any recipe. Absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed today's show. These are definitely some of the most powerful cancer-fighting foods available to us. I just want each and every one of us to stay healthy for ourselves so we have a great, healthy, long life. Also for our families as well. Try to share this information. So if this information could help anyone else, please do feel free to pass along. Take care.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.